Good day. I am back at the Clifford E Nature Sanctuary and wanted to get out into a rural area out of the city and didn't want to drive too far, and this place is about 15 minutes from home, so I thought I'd give it a try out here. It is -10 or -11, but feels like -20. A little bit windy today. I'm on the boardwalks, and a fair number of people come here often enough that it's packed down, but I did bring my walking stick with my, wearing my boots. This cold snap has hung in there for a few days, so we'll see. I think the weather's going to break this week and we'll be back to normal. I'm using my GoPro again. I adjusted a bunch of settings, took the microphone stock off, so it is windy, so we'll see if that was a mistake. After doing all those stairs on Friday, I didn't have a lot of jam yesterday, but I was going to walk and then didn't because I chose to do housework. And by the time I vacuumed and cleaned 2 bathrooms, I was sweating pretty good, so I thought, well, that's a good workout too. And my burning Achilles on my left foot and some random pain on the top of my right foot kind of made the desire to walk a little less. But don't forget what my motto is: just walk it off. So here I am. After surviving -30 weather, today feels awfully chilly. Even downright cold. Just got to get warmed up again here. I put on my hat, which had been sitting in the car since Friday, and it was still wet with sweat, but I'm wearing it anyways. Maybe my hot head will dry it out. There were 3 or 4 cars in the parking lot, so not a lot of people out here today on a Sunday. I guess that's the one nice thing about the cold weather, is these places aren't busy. When I came here, was it last week or the week before when it was warm, there was like 10 or 12 cars there. Could barely fit in the parking lot, so I just carried on. That's one of the lookouts there, but it's hard to get up to it when it's snowy. For me, anyway. And really not much to see this time of year. Frozen marsh pond. People have been laying down sunflower seeds and peanuts along here for the birds and squirrels. I guess that's part of what keeps them here. Trails aren't too bad today, but I think I'm glad I wore my boots. I'd put them away. How foolish of me. That breeze out here in the open is cold. It's definitely that wind chill. I don't know if it feels like -20. Maybe I'm just getting more accustomed to the temperature. But the wind is causing me to cry out of my left eye. I'm coming, buddy. Pretty tame, these birds. Relatively. This is a junction that takes you into one trail into the trees and another boardwalk that takes you to the parking lot. And I am going to go this way again into the Pine Knoll Loop Trail. I'm going to continue to my right here on the Pine Knoll Loop. There is the Woodland Flower Trail, which is one I'll probably end up coming back on, because this makes a loop around and connects to it. It's a little bit lesser traveled part of the trails. Most people kind of stick to those boardwalks. Well, I hope the settings on my GoPro are right and that the microphone is working better, but we'll see. Technology's great when it works. Always nice to be in nature no matter what the temperature. There's a trail that way, I think just takes you down to the marshy area there. Just going to carry on this, what is it called? The Pine Knoll Trail. Somebody did do some cross-country skiing through here after it snowed, so in the last couple of days. Must have felt good for them. I bet they thought their season was over. Okay, that trail over by that bench may have curved around and come back up here. Always areas to explore. And then we hit the property line here where it's fenced off. Let's see how we do on this hill. We had boots on, so it should be okay. No problem. Looks like the skier comes out of the private property and hits the trails. I assume it's their property, or they know the owners. I'm always leery of just trespassing on somebody's land, even if it looks somewhat remote and brushy. It's theirs. Permission should be required. Or buckshot in your ass might be the result. Clouds today are pretty thick. Couldn't see the plane that went overhead. Despite I'm anxious for winter to be over now, it being mid-March, I'm kind of thankful for this snow, because it's allowing me to walk these trails again that were kind of treacherous with the way it melts and the ice that builds up on them with the melting snow and runoff. So it gave a little reprieve to killing myself on a trail and allowing me to get out here again. When I saw a wind chill of -20, I thought, I'm gonna have to break out the old parka. But I'm glad I didn't, because once you get in the trees, the wind isn't too bad. You can probably hear it blowing through the microphone right now, but it's not bad at all. And I think it would have been too hot with it on. Now that snow that's here, you can kind of see that we had a good snowpack in some places. There's just our new 2 to 4 inches on top of that, but overall it's still pretty snowy. Again, only March. Spring will come, and summer. Okay, this is the very southeast corner of Clifford E. There isn't really parking here. I guess there's a little room to park at the side of the road, but I'm sure they'd probably prefer you to go to the parking lot where I parked. Let's take a picture of this sign again. So I'm way down here. I say way down, but it wasn't that difficult to walk. So I followed the boardwalk all the way around and down around here, and then where the outhouses and porta potties were, I came around here and then followed it down to this point where I'm at. So now I'm going to go back and get to the washrooms, and I'll probably take this Aspen Trail and maybe make a loop, this little loop once, because I'm not sure I'm going to really have enough mileage in for the day. Something's better than nothing though, right? I keep convincing myself. Okay, let's backtrack. I did another video on this location where I walked it, and this is pretty much the same thing. Sometimes it's just nice to get out again and fully remember it and see what's changed. And really what's changed is there's more snow. Can already feel that I've worked out that pain in the top of my foot. It's still there a little bit, but overall I worked it out. So I ordered a bunch of stuff off of Temu, and I was kind of leery at first of that website. I've ordered a couple things from them before and they've been okay. I ordered a pair of walking shoes, and they looked totally like Japanese moccasins. They were not what we would consider North American walking shoes. But they took it back. I sent them back and they refunded my money. But I opened their app, and of course you get all these free spins, and you know, you can get 100% off and 7 items free. So I thought, okay, fuck it. Could be Chinese shit, but not costing me anything. Well, it cost me $100 to get a couple things that I wanted. I wanted some brake caliper hangers and little things like that. One of the things I got was a headlamp, you know, the ones that LED light you mount on your head. And I can remember 10 years ago or so, my father-in-law got one for Christmas, and we all laughed. Look at the dweeb with the headlight on his head. Well, now they're all the rage, especially when I get to my age, and in the data center environment, anything that's new now is black. Black is sexy, right? It's sleek. Look at this new equipment we have. Well, the problem is with my old eyes, looking into a black void when you open the door, you can't see squat. So I bought myself a couple headlamps, and we'll see how that works out for me. I guess I moved into the age of dweebism. Not ageism, dweebism. I have heard people say though that some of the stuff you get on Temu is essentially the same stuff you get off of Amazon, especially if it's coming from a Chinese distributor. But the pricing is, well, they're always showing 50% off, 80% off. I don't know how they're making any money, but I guess it just proves how little goes into the product and the advantage of cheap, nearly slave labor. but we'll see what I get. So I guess we'll see if it's Timo for the win or a big sack of junk. The downside of Temu is the time for delivery, so you got to be patient on that. They don't have the Amazon infrastructure in place, so it takes basically 10 days to get the stuff you order. But whatever, if you need something in an emergency, you wouldn't order it from there. There's all this talk of the tariffs and buy Canadian and all kinds of things now being labeled with maple leaf or made in Canada, which I agree with. Probably should have been buying Canadian made stuff anyways, more so than the US stuff. It's all going to go up in price, don't get me wrong. So no harm in buying Canadian anyways. But my boxed wine, my Cabernet from Costco, that's a California wine. I can't give that up. This part of the trail is the something flower trail. I can't remember. Wildflower trail? Anyways, it connects back up with where the road or trail, whatever you want to call it, wide off. And I took the pine loop. And in a little bit here we'll end up back where the outhouses are. Okay, here we are. This is where I took the pine knoll, and I just came off the woodland flower trail. So we made that loop. I got that going for me. I believe this is the Aspen Trail. I don't think I've taken this one before, but I'll take this loop. We'll take around to another part of the boardwalk, and then we'll do a loop on the boardwalk. And that'll probably be it for today. This looks more like it should have been called Poplar Trail. Yeah, we're walking parallel with the boardwalk over there. So we'll just make another loop. I am sweating again. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the wind right now, but you get in the trees and the wind really doesn't affect you much. But kind of neat to listen to the trees creaking in the wind. It does make me a little nervous that one could snap and fall down, but that's just my own paranoia. It's probably unlikely. Probably. Some of these trails I would consider maybe medium difficulty in the trees here. But overall the boardwalks are pretty easy to traverse. There are some points though where they've frozen or they've heaved. So they are kind of crooked or slanted, so you'd have to be cautious of that. Okay, this is intersecting with the boardwalk, and it's the boardwalk that was started down that way where the outhouses are. So let's carry on around, and there's one more little trail I want to take, and once I do that, that should mean that I've gone around every part of the trails in this sanctuary. Look out over there, but there is an important part missing. The floor. I'm sure they'll get to that in the spring. Should probably go to their Ducks Unlimited webpage and maybe donate some money to them. Seems how I'm constantly using their space. I don't know if the perspective is there, but you can see how this part of the boardwalk is kind of heaved on one side, so it's kind of slanted to my right. So, as nice as the boardwalks are, they're not perfect. So if you have a child in a stroller or somebody in a wheelchair, it could get iffy for you. And of course, this time of year with snow, that would be difficult. Anyways, you'd have to have a sled to pull your kids around in. I'm not sure why they choose to shovel some spots. If there's a rhyme or reason to it, or just for fun. Like shoveling snow is fun. Peace and quiet ratio or quota is right up there. I think I'm the one making the most noise around here, clumping through the boardwalk on the snow. Okay, I missed the trail somewhere because I'm right back where I started nearly at the beginning of my walk. And that's one of the lookouts, so let's turn around and find that trail. I must have been blabbering or something and walked right by it. Wow, I went a long way out of my way. That's okay. Wasn't a very taxing walk so far, so more miles, feet, kilometers, whatever steps I get in, the better. Okay, this is where I came out of the Aspen Ridge Trail. And I ended up turning left when I should have gone right. Oh well, keep plugging away. Okay, that's the boardwalk you take to get to the outhouses. So I had come that way before. It was the Aspen Trail and the trees I hadn't taken. So now we're just making our way back to the car park. Ooh, this wind's pretty cold out in the open here. It's coming from the southeast that way. Right over the marsh, the frozen marsh. Well, we're coming up to the main entrance of the car park here. The way I feel, 5 kilometers maybe, but pushing through trails that are less groomed in the trees and stuff does get the heart rate up a little bit more. So let's get back to the car and see how we did. That's one thing about places like this. People don't stay out here too long. So all the cars that were here when I got here are now gone, and there's a couple new people. Okay, that was 4.89 kilometers in about an hour and 10 minutes. So not a great pace, but again, stumbling through the trees does not mean great pace, but it does get some cardio going in there. And my steps were actually 7,777. Maybe I should go to the casino, eh? So pretty good walk, and a little chilly today, but we mustered through. Until the next one.